Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Is my voice audible? So it is with great pleasure I welcome you all to the seventh day of two-week faculty development program on transforming education, integrating OBE and NEP 2020. Today's session is on research development and innovation. Now I request Dr. P.S. Ramakant, sir, Director Ranks and Accreditation with CP, to start the session.
Very good morning.
Sir, good morning.
To one and all. Glad to meet you again on this online platform. So as promised yesterday, my voice is clear, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. So as promised yesterday towards the end of the session, 5 or 6 slides. Actually, there is a lot more content to be covered yesterday, but then 5 or 6 slides which are more prominent, I'll just flash it. I'll not take more than 5 or 6 minutes before I can delve into today's presentation. So I thought that will be useful for all the participants. Yeah, screen is visible, na? Okay, so just a quick recap. These are the 3 areas what we have seen: input, process, and output. Overall 10 metrics we have seen, right? And impact is one. In the initial binary accreditation, its weightage is very less compared to input, output, and input, process, and output. So 10 attributes we have seen, their weightage, right, across university, affiliated, and uh, autonomous colleges. And then this is the overall summary you can see. As I mentioned, see, this is 90% or 99% more or less this will be the structure, or 95%. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, there can be a minor variations in the final NAC reforms document when it comes out, right? So, but this can give you overall direction how to prepare and make yourself ready. So you can see here, yeah, this is what the uniqueness part or impact. Impact has only 100. And if you see out of all the thing, the highest weightage is given for outcome, all right? So that's it. So this also I have discussed yesterday. The next level, second level after initial maturity, I mean initial binary accreditation process, then you go for maturity, growth and maturity on the basis of growth and maturity based on size of institution, number of disciplines, programs, right? How many years the university has been, then initially 4 levels, and then going for fifth level institution of global excellence. This comes at a next level, and the benchmarks for this are still not yet released. Even for binary accreditation, the parameters and all are finalized. Benchmarks and all are yet to be released. So the benchmarks, based on, I had an opportunity to discuss with Honorable Ganesh ji, the director of NAC. So the benchmarks, so currently we have in the revised NAC guidelines which were released in 22, they've released benchmarks. So now because there is no rating as such, right? 4 rating or 3 rating or 2, we don't have any rating. So there will be benchmarks for accredited, not accredited for each this metric. So this is the minimum number. Let us say for publications, per faculty publications, let us say if it is more than 2, in that metric, like you're qualified, means the chance of accreditation is there. If it is less than 2, I'm not telling 2 is not a final number, I'm just saying an example. If it is less than 2, not accredited. Say another area, the number of prizes or awards won by the students. Currently, I think it is 80 or so faculty, right? And now probably that will be brought down, right? Definitely it will be brought down because they want to onboard many people, right? So suppose if it is say now 40, so greater than 40, in that metric you are qualified, less than 40, you are not qualified. So that kind of binary, 0 or 1 sort of thing should come out. The details are not fully revealed yet, but that is the way how I foresee based on the discussions I had. Right, this is one platform I'm speaking of. One Nation, One Data platform. The platform is not fully ready on all fronts. The platform is still being developed, right, to bring in the data for NIRF, NBA, any accreditation you go, right? So you can, I suggest all the faculty members, IQAC coordinators, just to go through. So this is how the the platform looks. So now here you can see annually any institution as of today, say suppose they have to go for NBA, they have to go for NAC, then you have to fill IC details, you have to fill, then you have to go for NIRF. And interestingly, what happens is some of the institutions which I have visited, they submit one data for NAC, another data they submit for NBA, another data they submit for NIRF. Three different data. Parameter is the same, three different data, right? So I don't say in all cases there is data fudging. Sometimes they speak only partial truth, right? Right? Or selective data presentation, rather I can say rather than partial truth, a more technical term if I use selective data presentation, right? The entire data set is there. This is also true, this is also true, this is also true. For NAC, I will show only this part of the truth. For NIRF, I will show this part of the truth because this is where I get advantage. For NBAC, I will show this part of the truth. But everything is there in the universal set, right? But we are playing with the data available there. So now the government of India or the NEP policy, they actually envisioned that see the purpose of NBA accreditation or NAC accreditation, NIRF is to enhance the quality in a step by step by bringing out a positive, right, healthy competition among the institutions, right? But ultimately it ended up in many other things which we have discussed yesterday, right? So to eliminate that, one solution what they thought is, and also their the effective resource management of the universities and colleges is being drastically put down now because collection of data, uploading data in so many portals, right? Your university is accredited, NBA accredited, then you're also participating in NIRF. So the IQAC department throughout the year, they have to send data, ask data from different departments in different formats. They are sending, you are collecting it. So where is the time for research? Where is the time for teaching, learning? Where is the time for the extended curricular activities, right? But it's only now extended curricular because as I've told you in NEP document, curricular, co-curricular, all these things is removed, right? It is just extended curriculum, right? And credits are given into it. So, right. So now taking that into consideration, so now you fill this data annually only once. Yearly you fill the data. Yearly you fill the data, right? And if you are going for NAC, if you are going for AACT or NIRF or NBA, whatever it is, everybody will take the data from here. So you need not separately fill for each of this portals, right? All these portals are still not fully active. Right? I tried to visit them. If you want, you can just explore at a later stage, right? So this will actually simplify our job as IQAC coordinators or IQAC directors or assistant directors, right? Different people. It will simplify our data, but at the same time, it provides a greater amount of transparency to the I mean the accreditation or ranking agencies, right? So this is one very good initiative which should actually help every one of us, right? So please visit this site once, and then if you see the main features of this, adequate access control and security features are inbuilt into that ONOD platform. Ingestion of harmonized data with due quality checks into single format with applicable essential variables. Means, as I have mentioned, what do you say? The entire data is uploaded into only ONOD portal, One Nation, One Data platform, right? And later on, when you're applying for say NAC or NBA, when you check that particular, so internally AI-based algorithms are written, which will actually pull the data in the format required for the specific. So this goes at the background, which our intervention is not required at all, right? And the most of the data is taken based on the trust, right? We will see that later. Then single point data entry by HEIs with provision for yearly updates, enabling ease of doing business for HEIs, right? Only one point of data entry. So even ISHE data is also now merged into this, right? The previous 3 years data are also they are trying to pull it up. How far they will do it, I'm not sure. So previous data also what is there will now be pulled. And if there is again a data discrepancy between the existing data and the past data, there are mechanisms, right? How to go ahead with it. Then compatibility with National Digital Framework for good governance, future digital campus of HEIs. Samarth portal, Swayam portal, right, as well as Aishi portal, DigiLocker, Academic Bank of Credits, all these will be integrated into it, right? Then initiate a robust mechanism, reach out mechanism in tandem with effective methods of hand-holding the potential entrants, right? So this will be an important requirement for successful implementation of NEP. So coming out with one nation, one data platform is very, very crucial, right? Then trust institutions and public disclosure of relevant data by HES to enhance overall process credibility. So previously, now one important thing what the NAC or any other bodies are placing on the universities is trust. Trust. Any data what actually you upload, right? They are trying to bring technology into the front seat, minimize human intervention and multiple stages of checking, cross-checking, right? Multiple levels of checking will be introduced through the algorithms of machine learning and AI-based algorithms so that human intervention is less, right? Then APIs, application programming interface for pushing data from varied agencies into centralized database is being developed. And then human handling of collateral data and stakeholder crowdsourcing for verification of input data and trust enhancement measures. Right. So these are some of the features what NEP holds. Yeah, one more point I forgot to, I think I missed to include here is, see, whenever we include the data, let us say you have uploaded wrong data in the ONOD portal, right? So it is based on trust, and if they identify that wrong data is what do you say, uploaded by the university, right? They will send a notice, and then there are procedures for correction because sometimes there can be a human error. There can be human error, right? Instead of say 56, you might say enter 57 or whatever the number, right? Such minor variations which are likely to be human intent errors, they can be corrected with some penalties, right? So until the final the process is rolled out, there are certain speculations in some of the discussions where I went. Again, a word of caution here. It is speculation, but then it seems to be a speculation which is within the boundaries. Like in the you will be given points. You will be given points. Like say for first penalty, means first mistake, whatever you have done or wrong data entry, you are given certain points, 70 points or something like that. All right. So if for each error wrong entry you do, the number of points get accumulated. And say the overall points, if it crosses, say, suppose 300 or 500 or whatever it is, then a next level of action will be taken up to their penalty. The penalty can be in terms of financial penalty, heavy penalties. Those penalties will not be small penalties. The penalties will be heavy penalties. Why heavy penalties? Because they want to ensure that we are taking much caution, precautions, care while entering the data, right? Because see, being IQAC coordinator, let us see if I enter wrong data and the penalty is say 1 lakh, I cannot pay from my pocket. I have to go to the university, right? And the second time, if the number of points increases, the penalty will increase. So whether the system will be there, this is a speculation, but then uh, in some of the discussion where I went, they proposed this kind of model, whether this model will be implemented or not. But then one thing is very sure, penalties will be there, heavy penalties will be there for uh, wrong data, and if you have to put an application for correcting, right? So we all have to be a little careful while entering the data and all. So closure remarks, right? There are other areas for the ONOD portal and other things, but as I mentioned, today's topic is something different, right? Closure remark, and I request everyone go to the ONOD portal, right? Probably with your ISHI code, some of the institutions, if we check the data, what previously filled data, some of the data is available, right? For some of the colleges is still not available because the site is under development. So kindly just try to go through it. If your university is not seen with you when you try to check it with ISHI code, don't get a panic. Closure remarks. This is what I see overall. The future is bright. That's how I see it. Right? Why the future is bright? Because I see three reasons. Because towards the end of the policy document in the sense for the regarding the accreditation and this, so what they say is setting up of new high quality HEIs will be made far easier by regulatory regime. So granting of universities, if you want to set up a university, the process will be much simpler, right? And they want to ensure that the universities are set up with a motive of public service, right? And the second thing, HEI is performing exceptionally well, will be helped by central and state governments to expand their institutions. So they have not categorically mentioned it is only public funded universities, right? Now the government typically it made the distinction between private university and public university. Even the institutions of eminence, which the government has declared, 10 public universities and 10 private universities, right? Of which even Vellore Institute of Technology is one of the declared as Institute of Eminence. But the centrally funded universities are actually given a fund of 500 crores or something like that to ensure that they are placed in the world ranking, right? In the top ranking universities of the world. But private universities are not supported, right? There is some discrimination because of fund level. I don't want to comment on that. But moving forward, the policy document, what it says is HEIs. They just say HEIs, higher education institutions. In bracket also, there is nothing mentioned like public or private. Any institute which is reasonably doing good, exceptionally well, state government, central government also will try to help them. How the support and all, like it has nothing has been spelled out. But this is one of the policy. Then PPP models, right? Earlier PPP is public and private partnership models. Now it is public and philanthropic partnership models. For HEIs will also be piloted, right? It will be like a pilot study to see how the success will be there. Piloted with the aim to further expand access to high quality higher education. So this is how I see it, and that part with this last slide I close it. Yeah. So thank you all. So I'll not take any questions on this. I'll share the today's presentation. One second, please hold on. Okay, yeah. So the other presentation is visible, right? Today's topic of discussion, research innovation, research development, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Can someone give a confirmation?
Yes, sir. It is
Okay,
visible.
yeah. Thank you so much. So a quick guess by any one of you. This is typically my first slide in almost all presentation because I understand the importance of that specific topic in the policy by the number of occurrences of the specific word, how many times they are. So research and innovation, can anyone guess how many times probably it is spelled out in the entire document? Previously, we have seen what I've identified is quality is a one word which appeared the highest number of times, nearly 147 times. Research and innovation, can anyone guess? Just maybe a couple of guesses. Right. So I'm not able to see the text, madam. If someone posts the response, can you just please read it out?
No, sir.
No
As
one
of
has
now, there are
posted.
no guesses. No
No.
guesses.
Okay. Then you can take the chance. Can you guess?
Sir, I was thinking the same, maybe 50 plus, sir. 50 to
50.
50 to
Okay.
100, maybe.
Okay. Fine. So it's interestingly, it is 154 times. 154 times more than quality, but then there is a split here. 133 times is the research term, and then 21 times is innovation. Right. So if we put both of them together, research and innovation, it turns out to be 154. Right. If we see a single word, if we go by a single word, the appearance, still the quality remains the highest. Right. But then see 147 and 133, they are not too far. So the policy document has given a considerable weightage to research and innovation. Right. So let us see what the NEP document says about this. So outstanding research as a core requisite for outstanding educational development. Very big statement. Outstanding research as not a prerequisite or a post requisite, it is a core requisite. is a core requisite for outstanding education and development. So if outstanding education has to be there, if outstanding development of the nation has to be there, outstanding research has to be done. We will see that in future slides how all these are interlinked. Continuous review of progress based on sustained research and regular assessment by education experts. So the institutions should develop a mechanism of uh, they're continuously monitoring their own progress, self-assessment. Appointments and career progression should be based on teaching, research, and service. So at the time of recruitment itself, so how the research culture is developed, so the policy document speaks that to bring out the research culture at the time of appointment and the career progression, if they are based on teaching, research, and service is pushed at the last, right? So then the emphasis or the progress of research can be more prominent. Then the document also speaks of setting up research intensive universities with greater emphasis on teaching and research together. Then one problem which the document identifies is there is lesser emphasis on research at most universities, right? And the reason also it identifies that there is a lack of competitive peer-reviewed research funding across disciplines. This is the reason also what it identifies for lesser emphasis on research. Then as a possible solution, it says of establishing a national research foundation to fund outstanding peer research, to actively seed research in universities and colleges. Here it identified the problem, right, in this step because of lack of competitive peer research funding, right? Here it has proposed a solution in the document itself. They have to establish an NRF and it has to fund outstanding peer-reviewed research, right? Why to actively seed research in colleges, right? And develop active research communities across disciplines, including cross-disciplinary research, and increase resources efficiency, both material, human, across higher education. So now if you see the words active research communities, right? Active research communities, or in other words, see, some colleges do have this practice, right? Some colleges probably they may have to initiate, probably after this workshop, they may bring a discussion in their college and initiate. They have got research groups in every department, right? How active the research groups, I cannot comment on it because in some colleges, the research groups are created for the sake of creation, right? And in some colleges, they are actively taken and they are funded, like say, materials research group, right? Antenna, signal processing research group, right? Artificial intelligence research group. This research group is not comprised of the students or student clubs or anything, faculty, right? And there is what do you say? Each each group has got a group leader, right? So it's speaking of that kind of research communities being the culture of research communities being developed, right, across disciplines, including cross-disciplinary research, right? So that is what the policy document speaks of, right? The other areas, research internships with faculty and researchers at their own institutions and higher education research institutions. So this also our colleges, regular colleges, to develop a connect with other institutions, right? So there can be summer research internships. Typically, the summer research internships are currently at CFTI, centrally funded research institutions, or CRO, central research organizations, IITs we have got, right? Means all the institute of national importance, right? They have a fund from their institutional funding. So what private colleges, autonomous colleges, and private universities can do, they can implement that model, may not be at a larger scale, at a smaller scale, right? See, each department, say one person, one student, say for 2 months summer internship. Probably in this online platform, if there are people from research deans or research in charges, okay, research directors of the college, right, or IQAC directors, you can probably propose this model, which will be a success model so that your institute can collaborate with other institutions. So each department can have for a summer intern, say a fund of 50,000. Suppose you have six departments, 3 lakhs should be a very small amount. And every department can fund one person, say one student or two students. You can give a stipend of say 5,000 or 10,000. For two students, if you give for 2 months, it will be 20,000 stipend plus a to and fro travel ticket, right? This model, and you can put a condition the student should be from say IITs or NITs. You may wonder why people from IITs and NITs will come. They will come, suppose his home place is within your area, he will come there and just do, right? So you can actually think of the models of summer internship with faculty. Then HEAs will focus on research innovation by setting up startup incubation centers, technology development centers, right, in frontier areas of research. Industry academic linkages also is given due importance, including research, interdisciplinary research on humanities and social sciences research. Then National Research Foundation will function to help enable and support such vibrant research and innovation culture across HEIs. NRF will function, sorry, it got repeated. Then research in arts, humanities, along with innovation in sciences for the progress of enlightened nature of nation. So due importance means not just in the curriculum part, in the research part also, holistic research should be done. So the best teaching and learning process at higher education level occur in environments where there is a strong culture of research and knowledge creation. Very, very, very important. Actually, I felt this summarizes the overall theme or importance given by uh, the NEP policy makers in this. The best teaching and learning process at higher education level occur in environments where there is also a strong culture of research. I told you a strong culture of research means you eat, you sleep, you drink. Like eat, sleep, drink Coca-Cola. Some advertisement is there. So whenever a group of staff they go for any discussion, the discussion is typically not about salaries and grievances and all. The discussion is about the research, right? Conversely, much of the very best research in the world has occurred in multidisciplinary university settings, right? The strong research should be there and strong multidisciplinary research should be there. And to build on these various elements in synergetic manner and to thereby truly grow and catalyze research in the nation, this policy envisions the establishment of National Research Foundation. And then NRF will competitively fund research in all disciplines. And then NRF will carefully coordinate. This is also another important. NRF will carefully coordinate with other funding agencies and will work with science, engineering, and other academies, which also include funding bodies, to ensure synergy of purpose and avoid duplication of efforts. Avoid duplication of efforts. So this is just like we have got one nation, one data platform. This NRF slowly or in future would evolve like that. All proposals will be submitted only to one portal. This is how the document envisions. How far it will be realized, because there need to be a coordination of all the funding agencies, because each is a different independent government agency as of now. Right, DST you take a separate, DBT you take, CSIR, right, ICMR, right? So many funding agencies are there, BARC. Each is a independent funding agency. So now how all this will be collated into one funding agency, National Research Foundation platform, any proposal will be submitted there, because I know certain cases where I submit one proposal to say CSIR, the fund gets granted. I submit the same proposal more or less with a minor modification, just 10% change here and there, and I submit to say DST, that fund also gets granted. So here I get say 60 lakh, there I get another 50 lakh. And the results, what I get, same results I submit to two different agencies, right? So this word is very as it is used in the document, avoid duplication of efforts. So he cannot directly say avoid duplication of project proposals. So avoid duplication of efforts. One second, screen got stuck up. Yeah, so now if you see, let us look into what actually has led the policy document, where as a country we stand in research, which should be actually the motivating factor for the universities, for the government to take research to the next level. If you see the research journey of our country, it has not been an encouraging one. So as per the World Bank's development indicators, right? World Bank has given certain development indicators, of which the funding for research is one of a development indicator for any country. Germany, if you see, it spends 3% of its GDP on R&D, research and development. You see US, it spends 2.8%. Israel, it spends 4.3. South Korea, 4.2%. China spends 2% of its overall GDP. And Japan spends 3.2. So overall, if you see, the highest is by Israel. Highest is spent by Israel, 4.3% on the 4.3% of the national GDP. I heard because in the recent times I've started working started my research in the battery technology. I don't know how far it is true, but then I heard that Israel has developed batteries which probably would be the size of your battery in your mobile phone. Batteries based on nuclear uh, I mean, the nuclear power generation, batteries based on the nuclear atomic energy based, and which can support actually one time charging probably one whole year you will not recharge. I don't know how far it is true, but then it speaks of that. And if you see India, it spends only 0.69% of its GDP, right? So where do we stand? Where do we stand? So now uh, that 0.69 of its GDP also, whatever is spent, if you see, majority of the research is government driven. So there is no, the involvement of industry for academic research or industry academia collaboration is very less in India. The NEP policy document repeatedly speaks of this industry academia, repeatedly it speaks of this connect between industry and academia, not making MOUs for the sake of getting score in accreditation document. How many MOUs you have, how many activities. Any activity we do and then we put a logo of that institution, the purpose is not served, or right, or the very purpose is defeated. If you see, industries contribute roughly 40%, right? And central government's research expenditure is roughly 60%. So industry contribute 40% not to academia, for its own kind of R&D. And central government on research, it spends nearly 60%. And if you see, the 60%, it goes for, out of the 60%, 99% goes to defense, space, and atomic energy. These are the three areas. So this, what does it prove? This proves that research and development in India is not just inadequate, but is lopsided. Lopsided means only tilted to one side. There is defense, the space, and atomic energy. These are the three areas which are heavily funded by the central government, right? So the remaining part, whatever is left, right, of this 60%, say 0.1% or 0.2%, this is for education, and states are contributed to it. So now, there is a scope for academia involvement in it. Where is the scope for industries getting involved? I mean, industry and academia getting connected and together doing research. So the policy document, NEP policy document, identifies not just these areas. These are the national priorities for sure, but there are other priorities, societal priorities, and the document clearly identifies the areas where the research has to be focused by the industry, by the government, by the organizations as well, right? Like clean water, clean air, the sustainable development goals which the United Nations have spoken of, right? It identified certain critical areas where India is severely starving in those areas, right? So that areas also it will identify. We'll see those areas in the future slides. Now, a quick look of this. So based on the Scopus database which is available, right? These are the number of publications by country wise. China, if you see, per million population, these are the total number of publications which have come out from that country, this column. And then if you see per million publications, 527. UK, you see almost 3000, right? Whereas India starts at meager 138 publications per million population, right? So these are points of concern, right? Why is it like this? Because India is one country which has got highest number of education institutions. We have got nearly 45,000 or nearly 50,000 only this colleges. Then plus universities another 1,000, right? Nearly 50,000 small, big colleges all put together. But 50,000 colleges, the number of faculty, you can imagine how many faculty are there. IC data, I just noted down the statistics, but currently it doesn't. The number of faculty, how many are there? And each faculty, if they publish just one paper also, the number will be much higher than this, right? So the universities are actually not into research. The reasons are earlier mentioned, because of lack of funding or the development of the culture. And the Nature Research Index, if you see, uh, this Nature Index, they actually identified roughly around 130 or 120 high quality journals, and they consider publications by the countries only in that specific high quality journals, right? And these parameters I don't want to explain now. Share and share per 10 million. Share means, suppose there are 10 authors, right, from two or three different countries. 10 authors are there. The entire contribution to each person is counted as 0.1. That again, if there are two to the different countries, that is further share divided among. So I don't want to speak into the metrics part about how they are calculated. But then if you see here again, China tops number 1, and in this India ranks number 9. So share per 10 million population, if you see, all right, count per 10 million, India stands at 17, a very sorry figure. I'm glad that it is at least double digit number, right? Whereas if you see 197, 868, 1100, 1300, right? Far above, right? And here per 10 million population, if you see, we are standing at 10.6, and there are others in hundreds, right? So universities have got a very crucial role to play. That is why the policy document says the promotions are not, should not be based on seniority. Promotions should be based on performance. It speaks of giving fast track promotions. It speaks of putting faculty on tenure track. Faculty who are not contributing should be answerable. Why did it bring all this into this? So that to uh, uh, enforce that kind of research culture and contribution by the faculty. And top 10 institutions, if you see, previously it is by country, and Nature Index research leaders data, if we see 2024 data, which is valid for the calendar year 23, institutions wise, if you see, China has topped. In top 10 list, there are 7 places where China is spotted. US appears only one. 10 years back, US used to top the list. 10 years back, US used to top the list. Now China has topped the list, barely giving one place for France, Germany, and then United States. The rest all it is China. 3 decades back, India and China are almost on the same level. Now China is on the moon, we are on the earth, on all fronts. So the policy document envisions the involvement in the first slide or second slide. We have seen where what NEP document, NEP 2020 says, right? Outstanding education is possible in institutions where there is outstanding research. Outstanding education, outstanding development of the entire country is possible when the institutions by themselves contribute to the research. Now, the other part of research is patents. Patents, trademarks, industrial designs, right? Now, again, this, if you see country-wise, you can see here China again tops the list, right? Patent applications in 21, 22. Again, trademarks in 21, 22, industrial designs in 21, 22, right? So, whereas China, it comes for a roughly 15 lakh patent applications. India is 43,000 patent applications in 21. Yeah, the one good thing is from 43, again, there is an increase from 43 to 56,000. That's okay. But then you can see the number. Where is 15 lakh and where is 56,000? Where is 5 lakh and where is 56,000? Right? So this is the data like which has forced the policymakers or vision makers, right, to see through it. So now let us have a little closer look into innovation. Why the document has to uh, uh, emphasize on that research. So if we see India's researchers per lakh population, Economic Times of report 2016-17, it says per lakh of population, there are roughly 15 researchers in India. Only 15 researchers per 1 lakh of population. Whereas in China, if we see, 423 are there, and in the USA, there are 825 researchers per 1 lakh of population. right? So this is what the country is not encashing on the demographic dividend. This is the reason why gross enrollment ratio should be enhanced. We have 26, 20, roughly national average 26.5 or 27 is the gross enrollment ratio. So the gross enrollment ratio has to be increased. The people who are coming to at the early education stages in up to class 8, right, it is around 90%. But then it comes to class 10, secondary education. By the time it comes to higher education, is coming to 23. So from 90, it is dropping to a steepest 23 or 25 or 26. So research cannot be taken at school level. Research has to be taken at higher education. So the people who are turning out for higher education is roughly around 25 or 26%. And from that, how many people are going for research? And those who go for research, how many people are really contributing? Right? So this is a very sorry number. And then institutions have to take an initiatives, right? The measures, right? How this will enhance. Now, if you see the details, actually we have seen earlier. So sustainable development through research. So if we see from 1995 to 2007 data, the entire Europe's economic growth was mainly driven by research and innovation. The productivity increased by 15%, boosting GDP by 2%. US saw a growth of 2.8%. China, Israel, South Korea saw a growth of 4.2 and 4.3% in their GDPs and the overall economic development. Why? Because they were given a front seat for research. So it's not like, see, India is now spending 0.69% on research, right? So it's not a wasted investment. It's not a wasted investment. So if that increases, automatically it contributes to the country's development, right? And new research foundation is needed, right? So that's what the policy document envisions for expansion of research capabilities across disciplines, right? To sustain a vibrant knowledge and to propel a knowledge and research based economy. So breaking down research barriers and innovation. So what are the impediments? If you see impediments to research and innovation in India, increasing homegrown research, retaining talent is a problem, maintaining a vibrant research ecosystem is a problem. Right? Retaining talent is a problem because someone who has graduated, say, from IITs or a very good researcher, he's not going to stay in India. He is going to go somewhere and contributing outside. And his affiliation is from a university abroad. His affiliation is he is from a country abroad. He is a person of Indian origin, but then his contribution doesn't count to Indian metrics. Right? So that is one problem. Then research obstacles in India. What are the barriers we are seeing? Right? Lack of funding is one thing. Lack of research culture and mindset. Lack of research culture and mindset. Lack of research culture and mindset. Universities, management, heads of the departments, deans, directors, they've got a very, very strong role to develop this research culture and change the mindset. Limited research capabilities in most universities, right? And handling higher education, education's teaching and research separation, right? This is also one problem what they see at UG level, at PG level. Also, they separate teaching and research. That is what, if we see in the research intensive universities, we have seen the policy document has defined teaching research intensive universities as universities which give higher emphasis for teaching and research. Means the emphasis on both teaching and research should go hand in hand. That is where the emphasis lies, right? So that is lacking, right? I have seen in some universities, private universities in India, they have got someone called research faculty, teaching faculty, separate. This research faculty are not given teaching load. Of course, they have got their own agendas of publishing the number of papers of the universities, right? Because these people are exclusively engaged in research, right? But then how the research culture will go into the younger generation? Someone who is doing research, if he goes and teach, he will ignite the thoughts of the younger generation, right? So this the strong separation, the strong walls have to be dismantled between teaching and research, right? So these are some of the things. And then stronger emphasis, the policy document, it speaks of stronger emphasis on multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research. Then it speaks of identifying innovative solutions to complex problems of the society. And it envisions to see India as a Vishwaguru and It also identifies that research is the means by which we can see India as a Vishwaguru again, right? So HEIs, so they should try to establish international centers of excellence, industry academia centers of excellence, multidisciplinary research centers, centers for excellence in societal problems. These are the areas. The document as such doesn't speak that they have to establish international center. These are not as such specified. The categorization of center of excellence is not specified by the document, but then they identify the areas, the collaborative research between India and Indian institutions and abroad institutions, industry academia, right? The research has to be embedded. So if we break it down, these are the four areas. Now, some of the colleges, when we visit, they have centers of excellence. And if you enter into it, only the attractive part of the center of excellence is the outside name board, right? And then some basic equipment, very, very fundamental equipment, right? So, it should be international center of excellence, industry academia centers of excellence, multidisciplinary, and then center of excellence in societal problems, right? So now the goal is, sorry, the goal is to see India as Vishwaguru, right? Vishwaguru Bharat. So now, how is it that we have seen so many hurdles where India is standing as a part of research? What led to the policy document has given importance to different things. What is it that has led to that inclusion of those particular points in the policy document we have seen where India is standing, right? So now let us have a quick, I'll not spend much time on this. World institution rankings. I will not spell out where India stands in all these rankings, but then understanding of this is important because if we want to make India Vishwaguru, the principle of Vishwaguru is entire world comes to India for learning, just like how in Takshasila University, Nalanda University, right? People from abroad, all over the country, all over the world came to our country to learn things. Now, it is a very serious problem for Indian institutions to attract foreign students, particularly at UG level. Somehow they are able to manage from countries like, say, Bangladesh, Nepal, right? Some of the Asian countries. But you don't get anyone from, very rarely you get someone from Western countries to come and do their undergraduate education here. And research is also the same. Probably we have got a one semester exchange program, right? Ultimately, they get the degree from there, right? So we need to understand what is the role of research in this rankings part. Right? ARW, academic ranking of world universities, if we see, papers published in Nature Science, the weightage given is 20%. Research impact, highly cited researchers in 21 broad categories, that is given weight as 20%. Right? Alumni of institutions winning Nobel Prize and field medals. Then papers in SCI index and SSCI. So 20% here, papers in indexed SCI, papers published in Nature and Science, 20%, 20%, 40%, research impact, based on citations, 60%. So out of 100%, 60% weightage for this ranking goes for research. And how do you expect Indian universities to be spotted in top 10 or top 100? Because when the funding is funded by the university is the government is 0.69, and the research numbers you have seen, statistics you have seen. So unless universities give a larger seat, a front seat for research, the managements have to be generous in spending money. Universities and colleges should give exclusive trainings for faculty in capacity building for research, training how to write good proposals, training how to write papers, right? So 60% goes there. So how can we expect? So 60% of for research articles and citations, right? Then QS World Ranking. This is somewhere we can little bit breathe. 1 second, just hold on. Sorry. Like there was a repeated call from home 7 or 8 times. So I just thought some emergency, so I had to attend it. Sorry for that. Okay, so moving forward, yeah, QS World Ranking. So this is one ranking like where is little bit encouraging for us, because here academic reputation survey and employer reputation survey carries 40% weightage, right? And then research based, if you see, only 20% weightage is given. QS World Ranking. That is why you see India in QS World Ranking, we see good number of Indian institutions in relatively okay kind of place in QS, because the role of research is less here. Got stuck up. Sorry, one second, one second. Yeah, so now uh, in the QS World Ranking, if you see 50% go for public perception, right? Because 40% and then 10% here, reputation. This is typically public perception. 50% goes by public perception and 20% for research publications, right? And the rankings, time higher education rankings, if you see. Scholarly papers, 2.5. Research impact means based on citations, 30% weightage is given, 60%. Again, 30% research volume, income, and reputation, right? So 60% goes for research articles and citations here. So is it possible for Indian universities to stand in top 100? Not possible. Top 200 is very difficult. Occasionally we spot IISc Bangalore and sometimes IIT Bombay, right? In 200s, 300s, we find them, not consistently, right? And then this SciMago ranking is totally based on SciMago institutional research rankings is totally based on research, only research, only research, only research, right? And we don't find Indian universities here at all. One is based on number of scientific papers output, then papers published with international collaboration, the normalized impact, the scientific leadership, right? Scientific leadership means the corresponding author belong to which country? Which country? Being a 10th author or 5th author somewhere, one in the crowd. That's not the thing. Are you standing among the crowd? The scientific leadership part, right? Corresponding authors, how many are there? Then high quality publications and Q1 journals, how many are there? Specialization index, right? And excellence rate. So how, so this is a total rank. This total ranking is based on the performance on research, right? And then webometrics, this is reasonably okay, where equal weightage is given, 25%, 25% for different things. This is not of so importance, but then this is a ranking which is available. And then Leiden rankings, this also roughly gives around uh, equal weightage, right? 30 or 40% weightage for this. Now, Indian rankings we have got. So now, I'll not spend much time on this Indian rankings. So most of you might be aware of it. So in this, the research segment, if you see here, publication, citations, patents, and then research projects, right? So in this also, the weightage goes for publications and citations. It takes 70% of the weightage, right? It takes 70% of the weightage out of the total 100 weightage. 70% goes to publications and citations. So if an institution, Indian institution, we want to fare well even in Indian rankings consistently, the universities, the autonomous colleges, affiliated colleges, they should give a front seat for research and publications, right? So other things, so I don't want to discuss much on this. So quickly, I'll go through this. Most of you might know this, right? Quickly, I'll make a scroll through. So research performance indicators, one are primary indicators is publications and citations. These are the two things. And then derived indicators. Derived indicators are which help all these help us in ranking or help Indian institutions becoming a Vishwaguru. Vishwaguru means we are the source of knowledge. We are the epicenter of knowledge, right? So that is the intent. So these are primary indicators, publications and citations. Okay. And derived or secondary indicators are H index, is an outcome of publications and citations. Then I-10 index, then G index, M index, cited rate, impact factor, site score, immediacy index. These are the different derived indicators which are used by various ranking agencies, right, to rate the organization. So most of you might know what are these indexes, right? If not, you can, I'll quickly scroll through. H index, most of you know, minimum number of papers with those many number of citations, right? Like this, if you have 7 papers with at least 7 citations, then your H index is 7. Then the citation impact, which speaks of average number of citations, right? Which speaks of average number of citations. Suppose you have got 10 different publications. So add all the citations divided by number of the, so total citations is 60 and you have got 10 documents, so 60 by 10, which is called the citation impact. Then you have got M index as the author's first number of years since author's first publication. Means it speaks of your how current you are in the research, M index. Then I-10 index, this is a little more popular because H index and I-10 index is typically used in Google Scholar, right? Minimum number of papers with at least 10 citations. Then G index with at least G square citations, right? Quickly, this R stands for the number of publications. This is the total citation. This is the citations for the each paper, and this is the sigma citations. The first paper has got say 47 citations, second paper has got 42 citations. So 42 plus 47 is 89. So you keep on adding this, right? These are the citations for say each paper, and then here you keep on cumulatively adding those citations, right? So so when you come here 13 and then 13 R square 169, right? So that is how it works out. Then cited rate A by B into 100, number of papers having at least 1 citation by the total number of citations, then impact factor, right? I'm not going to this how impact factors can calculate, then immediacy index, right? The previous year they consider immediacy means immediate, right? If 23 is there for 23, the citations per article published only in 22, right? So these are the different parameters. Then site score is another thing for where the 4-year publication window is taken. So then how to keep your the another area where the university's visibility is integrating with ORCID ID, right? It has got a lot of advantages. I don't want to delve so much into the integration of ORCID ID. So most of the faculties, some of you might not have ORCID IDs, so try to create ORCID IDs, which will actually give you a global visibility, right? So try to do that. And then currently, like I think most of the universities, because of this accreditation and all, they might have created their Vidwan portals, right? So I don't want to emphasize much on that. But then that Vidwan portal or InflibNet, they are actually a good software which gives you a very good idea on the, I mean, a very good summary of the different research parameters like your academic identity, your citations, right? So all those things are given in the Vidwan portal. So any one of you organizations which have not enrolled their faculty, you need to create your institutional IDs, right? If at all you have not done that, you can start initiating that as well. So now we have seen a complete overview of the global level of research, right? Establishing India as a Vishwaguru is the vision of the policy document. And we have seen different ranking agencies which have given a very high seat for the research contribution, right? And then we have seen research contribution means what is research contribution? We have seen the primary indicators are there and derived indicators, right? So while we publish, we should actually be intelligent enough, or the faculty should be to balance these derived indicators also, see that they're always going up, the H index, I-10 index, the immediacy index, to show that your organization is current in research, right? So National Research Foundation, it is primarily, as I mentioned, it encourages and enriches research with creative innovation. The intention is to enhance research innate skills and provide set process or guidelines for research activities in the country. That is what. So now the primary objectives you can call, or goal or vision you can call, is to expansion of research and innovation. Why? Because outstanding research takes place for institutions with outstanding performance are those institutions with outstanding research. So for that, expansion of research and innovation has to take place. Then transformation of research quality, right? Not just quantity. Quality has to be, then emphasis on scientific method and critical thinking at UG level, right? These things the document directly speaks of. Critical thinking and scientific approach should be inculcated. That is the reason, if you see, UG by research is their 4-year degree program. Probably in the second day or third day, I don't exactly remember, of our discussion, we have spoke of multi-entry MIMI options, multi-entry and multi-exit options. We have seen one option as 4-year degree program with 160 credits, right? With BTech with research, or UG with a research degree, right? When 3 years they complete the credit, and 4th year is dedicated for research. So you can understand by that how much emphasis the document has given for research, right? Giving a research undergraduate degree. So major component is research there, right? And then discovery-based learning style means experiential learning. That habit should be inculcated from preschool itself, right? So the vision, if you see the policy document, establishing a new national research foundation, then funding rigorous research proposals, creating beneficial linkages between government, industry, and research, and then building research capacity at universities and colleges, and then recognizing outstanding research through awards and seminars. These are some of the things which the policy document directly and indirectly hints, which should be the foundation, or the at least the future scope, or gradual unfolding of the vision document, right? So these are the 4 or 5 areas. One is collaboration, national, international, and support to researchers should be there. Resource sharing and knowledge sharing among HEIs, building up a knowledge bank, right? The clusters which we spoke of, resource sharing, in that place it speaks of this. Then establish strong industry connect and enable digital connect. Then support to research and farming clusters, right? And equity and women participation in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and management or mathematics, right? Then digitization to enable knowledge and resource sharing, right? Resource sharing and knowledge sharing, resource sharing. Typically, like if you see the subscription model, which the government thinks. Oh, sorry. I I don't remember one important point I forgot here. Fine. The knowledge sharing, the one of the visions of the government of India after this NEP 2020 policy is to have what do you say, one nation, one subscription model. I don't know in the future slides I have kept that or not, or I missed it. One nation, one subscription model, where the government of India, it pays the subscription amount on behalf of all the universities or all the colleges. Or the intention is to collect a very, very meager amount, because the small autonomous colleges, right, or affiliated colleges, they cannot afford to go for annual subscriptions of, say, IEEE, ASME, or Elsevier, right, or Nature journals. They can't go for it, right? It's so unless the knowledge sharing is there, we cannot develop a research culture. We cannot develop a research culture. I visited one college where they have got a very good culture of, say, Thursday seminars. Thursday seminars, some colleges I visited, and I suggested to one or two colleges where they went, they, based on their time schedules, the seminar day keeps on changing, where the research committees or research groups which I spoke of, they present an outstanding research for all other faculties in a specific time slot. Thursday seminar, Thursday research seminars, right? So different departments takes in turn. This actually develops or brings in that culture of research in the universities. Then a National Research Foundation's role in building research capacity. So this is capacity building. What it aims of capacity building is approves projects based on merit by empowered committees. Then it seeks outstanding research proposals from all institutions. encourages proposals to build research capacity at state universities, seeds, grows and facilitates research at academic institutions, creates linkages between researchers, government and industry, and recognizes outstanding research. So in this way, right, they want to build the capacity. And what are the initiatives for the foundation initiatives for research and development, right? So seeding and facilitating research means seed grants, especially universities and colleges, right? They need to give seed grants, and the foundation in a long run aims to give certain seed grants for the institutions, assisting in setting up conducive research infrastructure, right? To set up basic research infrastructure, the foundation aims to support. Then funding competitive periodic proposal grants, supporting translation of research into capital intensive technologies. I mean, this is entrepreneurship part, right? Increasing India's role in key national and global areas. And creating program to address societal development, financial and technological, economical challenges nationally, and preparing a roadmap for short-term and long-term research development. Actually, this has to be reflected in the IDP institutional development plan. Then encouraging collaboration from scientists from within and outside India. Then coordinating across the central government, state government, public authorities, right? This is also one of the activities of the foundation, and encouraging public and private sector investment in the foundation activities, right? Participating in international collaborative projects. So new research centers which the policy document speaks of proposing is there should be multidisciplinary universities we are speaking of. They should have research centers in science, they should have research centers in technology, social sciences, arts and humanity. And you can see here, this is a cyclic process, means all these should go hand in hand. It's not like this acts as independent, this acts independent, all three, 1, 2, 3, 4 are 4 different quadrants which are not connected at all. That's not the intention of the policy document, because if you recollect the discussion in day 2, over a span of 15 years, all the institutions will evolve into degree awarding multidisciplinary institutions. So there are no single, and you have seen all single stream universities will be phased out and they'll be merged with the multidisciplinary universities. That is the grand vision of it. So multidisciplinary is the key word. You see, it has occurred 58 times in the document, multidisciplinary. So the science, technology, social sciences, arts and humanities, the research should be encompassing, multidisciplinary research encompassing all these to address the societal problems. So what are the areas which the policy document has identified to contribute to the societal changes? So these are the areas it identifies, in addition to the lopsided funding by the central government in the areas of defense, space and atomic energy. These are the 3 areas, right? Central government is funding majority of the research, 60% of which more than 95% goes for these 3 areas. But there are other areas which actually the world is starving for or looking for technology breakthroughs. One is clean water, other one is sanitation, quality education, healthcare, good transportation, particularly with this energy crisis, air quality, energy, infrastructure. These are the areas where which need the national importance and emergency or a focus point of the institutions to conduct research on. So these are the areas which the policy document clearly identifies, right? And then the policy document also speaks of research ecosystem. It doesn't spell all the details very clearly, but then some are the interpretations given by the by myself. So to develop it certainly emphasizes development of research ecosystem. The 4-point program, what it says, external research and funding grants should be secured. In this direction, capacity building activities have to be taken by the universities or colleges. Then research should be focused on, previously we have discussed renewable energy, food sustainability, water resource management. So based on the necessities of the society, we are doing research for the society. So those areas have to be identified, and research promotion by the management itself should be done, by the universities itself should be done, giving seed grants for new faculty who have joined, who have completed their PhD and joined, giving seed grants for them, and issuing major grants. Major project grants are grants which are more than 10 lakhs are considered as a major project grant. Less than 10 lakhs are minor. So seed grants are usually 2 lakh, 5 lakh seed grants. So per department, say one seed grant. So small colleges, big colleges, what is the amount you, or per research communities which you are speaking of, faculty research communities. For a community, the community as a whole, 5 or 6 faculty put together, they come out with a proposal how the colleges can develop that research culture, and then annual research contingency, right? So all the faculty can be given an annual research contingency, or at least the doctoral faculty can be given an annual research contingency of 5,000, those who are in 5,000 or 10,000, just to meet their minor consumables. And over the time, facilities like central instrument facilities, consortiums, IPR support should also be developed by the colleges. The central instrument facilities, it's not possible for one small affiliated college, but probably a group of colleges can come together, right, in a team spirit mode, and then can set up a common research facility, right, and sharing of research facilities via iSTEM. iSTEM, I don't know how many of you, how many of people have been using it or know this iSTEM. iSTEM is a very wonderful facility given by the. Oh, I think I forgot to give the hyperlink. Okay. Anyway, I'll tell you this iSTEM. You can visit this site, Indian Science and Technology Engineering Facility Map. So now, see, through a project, right? You can. I'll just try to explain here only. Right. Lab operator trainings will be there. Software through iSTEM. Right. About iSTEM, you can see. Let us say if you want a very high end equipment, say transmission electron microscope, right? Or you want any other atomic force microscope, or STM you want, which your college cannot actually have it. But the government of India has funded different institutions, right, as a part of their research projects, some major equipment, right? So those major equipment at the time of proposal submission, most of you who are online, we need to submit a document in the during proposal submission, major equipment, how much time is available for others to use this equipment. That item we have to fill it 40%, 60%. So all our equipment will be listed here. So I can, any outside person who want to do research or use this facility, he can approach the organization through this. In fact, I have approached and many organizations, and one of my PhD student has actually borrowed COMSOL software. COMSOL software, if I have to buy it, is in lakhs. And one specific module only I want, right? We have borrowed it from ISC Bangalore, and now my student is working on it. COMSOL software. They lend it for you, say for 2 months or 3 months, right? And once the duration is getting over, if your work is still not over, we can actually put an application for extension, right? So it is a wonderful facility. I request all the research coordinators, directors, right, of the colleges or the principals and all, try to familiarize this facility. It's not that today you book the slot, immediately you get it, but then very cheap and free of cost facilities we have this, because the government has already invested through a project. Very wonderful facility. You can actually explore, so many equipment are there in it, right? So please needful. And then building and running sustainable research groups, right? This is also sustainable research groups means sustainability, as you know, like which stays for long term, right? Not just creation of groups and then 1 or 2 years there is no support by the management, and then they by the management or the universities, and they slowly vanish. Then funding research proposals, right? The NRF, National Research Foundation, which speaks of single principal investigator research projects, then large and long-term projects, collaborative grants for institutional projects, national and international research. Then peer evaluation. These are the different stages in peer evaluation. One who successfully completes this peer evaluation means blindfolded peer evaluation. Currently now the peer evaluation is not blindfolded, because I do evaluate certain projects for say DST and then SERB. When the projects come to me, I can actually see who the applicant is, from which institution, what is his name, and all those details. So when that kind of blindfolding is there, now this is only single blindfolded, means the other person doesn't know who is the reviewer, but reviewer can know whose project it is, whose paper is, right? So we need, even the project evaluation should be double blindfolded. So reviewer doesn't know who the applicant is, and the applicant doesn't know who the reviewer is. So all the institutional details, applicant details, or the investigator details should be masked during the evaluation process, right? And then issues with, I'll close it quickly, issues with research, innovation, entrepreneurship, which need to be addressed. Institutions have to take an initiative to make the faculty and the students understand the research and ethics. And most of the colleges have now made research ethics, which are offering PhD programs. Research ethics UGC guidelines indicate that research ethics should be a mandatory part of the coursework of a research scholar. But otherwise, also at a UG level, we speak of just most of the colleges give ethics as a course. In that, research ethics can be a one module of it. Wherever I have been as a member of board of studies, I suggested that in the ethics part to include, say, one module on research ethics at UG level itself. Then the issues with the innovation and entrepreneurship and researches which the institutions are facing is education job mismatch, funding and capital, scalability and growth. These are the 10 different areas, right? And for students, if we see, these are the issues with the students: education and skill development. That is an issue for them. With the universities, they doesn't give an opportunity for learning from failures, right? Then identify problems and opportunities. Then market research validation is a problem. Cultivate creativity and idea generation. The scope is very less, right? Business planning and funding opportunities are very less. Networking and collaboration. So these are the areas where the issues for students have to be addressed. And then for academic institutions, the challenge is cultural shift and leadership commitment should be there. Leadership commitment is management should be committed to promote research in the organization. And the challenge is cultural shift, which we spoke of. Then curriculum enhancement to promote research, to bring the research component, research degrees into place. Then collaboration, networking, funding mechanism should be properly developed. These are all the issues. Then hands-on learning, not just for the students, for the faculty as well. Incubators and accelerators, right, means promoting faculty entrepreneurs, not just student entrepreneurs, right? Hackathons and competitions. This hackathons and competitions should be regularly conducted, right? Then faculty development, research development centers. These are the areas. Again, for industrialists, these are the 10 different areas, and these are the sectors where the government should focus, right? So these uh, the problems, the issues which are there for industrialists, for academic institutions, for students, for government, right? They are either directly pulled out from the document, or some of the shadowed words whichever are there are interpreted, and like we have tried to put it out in this direction. So with this, I'll call off today's presentation. Yeah. So if any questions are there, I'm ready to take.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
sir, can we take questions, sir?
Yeah, please, we can.
The initial research strategies should begin being taught before the students complete high school. If students begin learning basic research strategies from class 6, 7, or 8, the load for instructors in higher education institutions can be lessened. Is there a specific course that teaches only about research as a first semester course in your organization?
See, like it's a valid point which you brought out. See, the culture of research has to be inculcated at the school level, is very, very crucial. That is why the policy document, if you speak of, for the secondary school from class 9, 10, 11, and 12, it speaks of internships, which is never seen before for a schooling education. So this internship need not necessarily be a field trip or anything like that. So internship can be a research internship at UG level. And this is one step which the government has taken, is that Inspire program, DST Inspire program, where the students, there are certain institutions which have taken that at a very serious level and try to implement that, where the students, 10th class students, intermediate students, they are allowed to come to a engineering institutions, see all the facilities for 1 week or 10 days. They spend the time, interact with faculty. Great initiatives were done. See, as such a course in the first year level, what I suggest is students, if they are not introduced to the research psychology or research critical thinking in the school level, which is the current situation, it will take time to evolve. What we can do is, research intensive universities, the fundamental principle is, or bringing research into classroom. Bringing research into classroom, right? Not, I mean, faculty who are qualified, PhD qualified, who are active in research, when they teach, right? So they have to bring research into classroom. So as a part of that, in technical subjects, we can actually include a module where we bring the current research or anything into this. So in that point, like in our university, we have got an eighth module, right? 7 modules are compulsory modules, and in the eighth module, we have got industry module or a research module. Right? It's not mandatory for all the courses, right? Where for the last in the last module, it's mandatory that for technical courses that we bring in researcher who is actively working in the theme of the entire subject, right? Minimum 3 hours of interaction will be there, teaching the fundamental basics, particularly for UG students. So in that way, probably a flavor for or inclination towards the research can be initially built at the first year, second year, and see if slowly, once the ladder is the gradient is slowly built, in the final year they can be inclined or motivated to take a research degree, UG research degree, 4 years degree, rather than quitting at a 3-year degree with a basic this one. That's the way how I look at it. You're on a mute. You're on a mute, man.
There is a second question, sir. Teachers in higher education institutions are overburdened with teaching other clerical works like handling scholarships, examination, admissions, with no time left for research papers and projects. On top, higher education institutions are burdened to write 2 research papers per year to improve ranking. How quality can be incorporated in such papers?
So this is a problem everywhere. See, I have no answer to this, but then the only solution is, see, management has to be liberal. Unless management has to be liberal, and then the FSR has to be drastically improved. If you see the world ranking institutions which I spoke of, right, subject to correction. So some of the, I think it's a Stanford University or so, the FSR is 1:6. Some other university, they have FSR in single digits. For every 4 students, there is 1 faculty. For every 6 students, there is 1 faculty. So as I've told, I agree to all the points what you have told. So because as a faculty, there is certain amount of administrative load we do need to take, but then at least 60 to 70% of the time, but at least for doctoral faculty, whoever are there, see, this is a problem. I think I cannot answer. You made a statement or you asked me a question, I don't know. But then there is a problem as of now, which I don't see any solution in the near future unless the managements are liberal on this front or the governments impose certain norms. So even if the government impose norms, on paper it is something in private colleges and in reality it is something else. So things have to evolve and the regulators and regulations have to be more stringent. That is the way how I see it.
Sir, another question. Sir, do you suggest to organize technical lecture very frequently? Speaker must be from international or national level.
It depends on the demographic dividend of your students, right? In the first year, don't overburden the students, right? Because with the multi-entry and multi-exit option, the student can leave at the third year with 120 credits. Only if he wishes to pursue a research degree, then he can go to the fourth year to get a UG degree with research. So you can gradually increase those first year, you can actually give them an inclination of it. So a mandatory module you can put, right? module 7 or module 8, which can be an innovative part in your curriculum, right? Industry module or say research module. So relevant to the topic, 1 or 2 lectures you can have initially in the first year, so that the student has got a flavor. And as you move forward, right, probably you can increase the so more importantly, actually, compared to students also, even the faculty have to be tuned, because the culture of research is one serious concern which the policy document speaks. The higher institutions lack the research culture, right? As I mentioned, faculty, if they have a free time, they should discuss research with the fellow colleagues, with the co-faculty, with the management, with the students, right? That culture has to be changed. So for that to be developed, so we need to actually organize at least once in a semester the proposal writing for faculty, technical paper writing for faculty and PG students. If your college is offering or is a research center, say for JNTU or whatever it is, you have PhD scholars under you, let the PhD scholars join. So at least once a semester, that kind of awareness should be developed, right? I think that will be more helpful.
Working as teaching fellow, contract staff, is it possible to get fund from national bodies?
As of now, no. As of now, no.
Next question, sir. Initially, we depend on DSP SERP schemes like SRG, CRG, SUPRA, etc. Whether these fundings are closed, any other funding agencies ready for funding?
No, these fundings are not closed actually. Now, SERB has now transformed into ANRF as a vision of this NEP document. ANRF, Anusandhan National Research Foundation. NRF is the policy, is what the policy document speaks, right? National Research Foundation. So Anusandhan is integrating. So initially they made a pilot study with this. Probably the grand plan, as I've told you, is to integrate all this submission and all into one single portal, so that what do you say, this transmigration is being done. So this year, SERB has not released, SRG has not been released, then core research grant is not released, Supra is not released, right? So many grants are actually not, means calls are not opened actually this year. It's not like, I don't see that they are closed, right? But then once this transmigration into NRF, Ansandhan National Research Foundation, has been done, probably then at once it will release. That's the way how I see it. You can actually check it now. SERB is no more SERB, it is ANRF.
Sir, one more question. According to the new education policy, does removing the 2-year PG program and reducing the MPhil to 1 year negatively impact research quality? How
No,
can students?
I don't see like that.
Uh,
A question is not complete. Yeah,
Yes,
please,
sir.
please.
How can students adapt to these changes? And are these modifications harmful to research outcomes? Will these changes help in producing high quality research students?
Okay. So this is a very, I think someone put a lot of thought into this question before writing it. I appreciate you. See now, 2-year PG program uh, has now been boiled to 1-year PG program. So if you have attended my higher education slide, only those who have done 4-year UG program, 3 years and 1 year research with 160 credits, they are eligible to do PG program for 1 year. Someone who has done a 3-year UG program, he cannot do PG program only for 1 year. He has to do PG program for 2 years. Right? That is point one. Because the intention is, if he is properly trained, means undergraduate degree with research he is getting, means 3 years he has done coursework, and at UG level itself 1 year he is spending on research. So he is trained in the research practices, research methodologies, right, in that 1 year. So when he enters the PG, he is more qualified to do research. That is the way how the policy document envisions. See, unless sometimes we may make a grand plan, but once it is implemented, the fruits may not be as expected. So now the initial plan was to promote research at UG level, and then so that he takes it at a higher level in the PG program. So if the student has not undergone a research degree UG, he has to do 2-year program PG. He cannot do 1-year program. So other part, MPhil related thing, MPhil has been removed. See, I don't think removing MPhil will drastically have any impact on the research quality, because earlier also when when MPhil was there, it's not mandatory that someone has to go through MPhil to do a PhD program. After MSc, straight away, all the IITs were directly taking PhD candidates. So MPhil was there. Sometimes people took it as a stopgap. Yeah, definitely it gave rigor to it. But then if in the PG program, the MSc program, if the student MSc programs, typically research is done for 1 year, research project is done for 1 year, right? If student has really thoroughly done, probably the transmigration from MSc to PhD or PG to PhD should not be a difficult process without MPhil. I don't see the difficulty.
There are no more questions, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for the great information what you have presented in an excellent way, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
As expected today, because it is connecting more to the higher education engineering, maybe the questions were more. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants. Yeah, I request all the participants to turn on their camera for the photo session. I request all the participants to please turn on their camera for a photo. Thank you all. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day.